Hey guys!
And welcome back to our channel today with our special guest. You want to say a few words about yourself?
Well, my name is Aspir, and as I like to say, I aspire to inspire before I expire. I'm a world traveler. I've literally circumnavigated the globe. I've been to almost 50 countries and had a lot of amazing experiences.
And today he's gonna share a few of those magical experiences he had in his travels with us.
Indeed.
So it's gonna be really interesting. So grab a coffee or tea or whatever drink you prefer, and stay tuned.
Alright, so what is the most exciting story that you wanted to tell us?
Well, I thought the most relevant for your channel, after looking through some of the things you have to share, I would really like to share about this experience that I had in North Ireland. You know about fairies and maybe Will of the Wisp.
Yeah.
Will of the Wisp, I wasn't actually aware that
me
this
neither.
was a thing. The fairies, yes, but Will of the Wisp, no.
And I just asked because I'm not really sure what I encountered in North Ireland, which I'm still led to believe, that magic is still alive there. It hasn't been something that has been completely wiped out, which is in danger in much of the world today. But I'll share another story where we encountered something magical in the woods.
Okay.
But in this case, it was on the northern shores of North Ireland. And what I was doing there, well, I was on one of my many journeys exploring a new country. I have some family roots in Ireland, and I was really looking forward to just getting as much of the land underneath my belt as I could. And I was on my way to Giant's Causeway, and I had been told that I could camp out in some of the caves around there, which maybe is unusual, but maybe it was it was a wild goose chase. I don't know. I didn't make it to these caves, but when I got to,
Will you share your pictures with us so we can?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Okay. Then we will show everything.
Well, if you want to read the story for yourself,
we will link it down below so we can visit
so
your
we can
site.
read everything.
Yeah. And but as I like to say, with my experience in Ireland, actually before I get to North Ireland, there was something important I forgot to mention. The name of the story that I put online when I published it is, in Ireland there are still kings, lords and fucking fairies. Because while I was visiting the Hill of Tara, I got to have the experience of meeting one of the last kings of Ireland, supposedly. He's still living there now, I think. I'm not really sure.
I didn't hear the story.
But the Hill of Tara was traditionally where they would anoint their kings at some period. Or I'm not sure if they were anointed, or that's where they would receive their confirmation as king.
I thought you said annoyed, and my brain was like, what? They would annoy their kings?
That's where they go to. The jesters would go, and they'd have a dance around the Hill of Tara. The king would just be like, all right, yeah, okay.
I am
don't know what I'm doing here. I'm so uncomfortable right now.
Sorry.
So, with this king of Tara and some hippies, we went and camped out there at the Hill of Tara, which was a really nice experience. And supposedly the people I was with there, some granola hippie types, I'm not really the craziest about, but it was an interesting experience to say the least. They claimed to have seen some fairies while they were there, and I don't know. Maybe they were smoking a bit. I'm not really sure. I didn't try taking anything myself at the time. You never know. But anyway, so that was that really got me started on this journey, and I'm really open, of course, to especially after the many things I've seen even before this experience with whatever it was. Very open to the
supernatural.
Yeah, the supernatural and kind of crypto, whatever it is, cryptid. That's what cryptid realm of beings. Anyway, so I finally got on my trip to Northern Ireland, and when I made it up there, I was traveling by bus, and it was already late. I had no idea where to go to find these caves, so I just asked the bus driver, where can I set up my tent? And he said, well, there's some sand dunes out next to the beach, and the sand dunes are already covered in grass, and he said that would make a nice place, so that's where I headed after I got off the bus. And it was really windy by the sea there. I was really hopeful that I would find a place that would just, there would be like a hill and a ravine or something, somewhere I could get my tent out of the way. And I found the most perfect gully. Like it was just, I laid down in it and it was the perfect size for coffin-sized me or my one person tent to sit in there. And it was just like if I squatted down, like sitting down here, the wind would blow over my head, and it was, and like I said, the wind was blowing profusely. So I had set up my tent. I had also just got a new phone, like I had my new phone that I was using to document everything, and I got specifically this Sony phone. My story is already boring you?
No.
I'm sorry, I know, I'm just a blabbermouth, I'm going on too long already. Sorry, guys. So anyway, I had this new phone, right? It's very interesting. I had this new phone, this Sony something or other. Anyway, it was supposed to be super durable. And that's the exact purposes that I needed it for. I was like, okay, if I drop it, if it hits a rock or something like that, it's going to be fine. So anyway, I find this perfect spot. I find this little gully, set up my tent, and I'm like, wow, this is really great. What a perfect moment to capture with my phone, and there's the ocean in the background, and let's see how well it does. And it was at night, sun had already set, and so I go, and I'm not standing up, I'm leaning back out of the wind, and I take a picture, and I look at it, and I immediately notice something strange above my tent.
Yeah, and you can definitely see it in those pictures that we're gonna show you probably right now. That there is definitely something.
Yeah.
Like
there is definitely something. And whether it is a fairy, will-o'-the-wisp, we may
it's hard to
know.
tell because, like you said, like the quality is not the best.
The quality is not the best. Maybe you will feel underwhelmed. You can see my feet quite clearly, the tent quite clearly, but whatever it is that's there, it's like different shades of green.
Yeah.
And there weren't any ships out in the Bay Area or out at sea. But anyway, so what happened? So I was looking in this picture, and right above my tent was this light, and I was confused. I started looking around like, okay, where is this light that's showing up in my photo? And I turned on my I already had my headlamp on, and I was like looking around expecting it to catch the reflection of something. But nothing was there, so I just kept taking more photos, and as I was taking more photos, it looked to be moving around my tent. But when we looked at it, there might have been a second one.
Yeah, I saw like something that might happen.
There's definitely some kind of there's definitely something there. I mean, when you look at the other photos, like when you see the night, the pitch black darkness, there's a little hue of light, so there could have been even two of them.
And maybe just also explain it with the wind. Why is it so weird?
Why it couldn't be, for example, a bug? Because
right. So as I was saying, the wind was not quite gusting, but I mean the wind was incredibly way that maybe even a bird would be able to be doing this. And what would a bird be doing at night anyway? But like a bug, a spider, whatever. Number one, if it was a spider, any kind of bug, it would have been huge. It would have been at least like the size of my thumb in these pictures when you compare it to the size of anything else there. And for it to be flying above my tent in those winds would have just been impossible. Absolutely.
Yeah, and just flying without reason, like left, right, like.
Yeah.
It was just so weird movement. Like.
Well, I mean, if it was something like checking out, like I just interrupted, I went in its sacred space, basically, or its home, and it's like, what the did this guy set up here? Oh, excuse me. And so, I kept taking pictures until it appeared to have left. Didn't show up in any more shots. I mean, it looked like it just like flew out of the frame. And I thought that would be the end of it. And I didn't know what to do with what I just saw. I was just like, wow, this is incredible. And I expected just to go to sleep that night and wake up and pack my things and go. But that wasn't quite the end.
Yeah,
so,
now comes the best part.
Well, so I had, I had set everything out. Again, this is in sand dunes. There is no stones, there's no sticks, no trees, no whatever. I was not inebriated, I wasn't drunk, I hadn't been drinking, I hadn't smoked anything. And I had, that night, the only thing that could have possibly had any hardness was my boots, the rubber soles, but still. The reason I say all this was because that night, I set my phone, my brand new phone, on top of my backpack. And I woke up the next morning, and lo and behold, my phone had been destroyed. The whole top area where the flash or the lens was just like had
crashed.
Been totally broken open. And it was, when I had looked at it, it was still fresh.
Yeah,
that
and it's
there was
so
glass
bizarre.
pieces
Like, it's a
and
new
everything.
phone. There's no way this would just happen like from, by accident, or I don't know. Like, even if you, like you said, like with your boots or something.
Yeah, it's like
there's
I
no
couldn't have like, it dropped into
Yeah.
the grass and sand.
Yeah.
Broken.
I don't know. It bent in my. I mean, if it had bent in my pocket, it would have been bent.
Yeah.
Another thing I like to say is like my life is unbelievable because half the things I tell people they don't believe.
Yeah.
That was actually
just
the
like,
other
oh,
thing I
whatever.
was about to ask you, because you have seen so many different people, because you've traveled so much.
Mm-hmm.
How is there like percentage of the people that believe in your stories, or like are on the same topic?
1, 2, I don't know, versus everybody else. No, there have been others who have found my story, fascinating. And I mean, I also keep the same kind of, just kind of open mind where it's like, okay, I can believe that it's possible, but until it happens to me, I'm not really sure. Like Bigfoot. I want to believe in Bigfoot, but until I see one, I'm like, okay, I can believe it. Maybe if I see a Bigfoot, even not even Bigfoot itself, but like some tracks or something. So I understand for you skeptical people out there. But I mean, hey, if you have, image analysis, you can take these photos and see if you can mess with it, clean them up, see if you can find a fairy. Or maybe, I mean, if it's a will-o'-the-wisp, it's going to be hard because it's just energy. It's just maybe manifesting into a little thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we can
I
move
will
on.
just encourage you to read the story yourself. And what website was it? Reddit?
Yeah, it was on a subreddit. I don't remember the name, but like...
Yeah, we're gonna link it down below, and you can see the pictures then for yourself, and we will also...
I gotta fix some typos in there.
Yeah, that.
Hey guys, we went on for quite a bit longer than we expected, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we split this into 2 parts. I hope you enjoy both, and see
stay
you
tuned for
part
the
2.
second part.
All right, thanks.